right. Welcome to our first proper review of the evening in JetBall Arena. So, I'm sure the first question that comes to mind is, what is a JetBall? And it's basically zero G soccer. Um, Maybe it's not a one-to-one analog, but the closest real sport I can think of is association football.
So it's ball game with jetpacks.
More or less. Um, and what that means is this is jet soccer played with 6 degrees of freedom. Yeah. You have a 360-degree rotational view of the entire field in both first-person and third-person viewpoints. Yeah, it's like if you get motion sick, do not play this game. I'll say that right out. In fact, if you have any sort of disposition, don't play this game. But more on that in a bit. But yeah, so JetBall, yeah, is a pretty basic sports ball game here. The object is to get the balls into the holes, and you do that by either knocking them in or tractor beaming them into the holes. And the principal thing to keep in mind is the size of said holes. Yes, context and phrasing and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the smaller the hole, the more points you get. And games last for 3 minutes, and it is played by 4 players. And from what I have seen, there's no way to change any of those kinds of options. Nor, like, this game is actually fairly option free. With the only real setting adjustment is the arenas themselves. You get 5 arenas taking place at 5 different locations, or that basically determines the planet's backdrop. I think that also shifts where the rings are, the actual goal holes, and yeah. It's like this game is very thin, because you've only got the one mode.
Right.
And in terms of multiplayer, you only get 2 players.
Fine.
Yeah, this is a 4-player, this is up to 4 potential players, and you can only do 2 people. 2 people locally at that. I'm not quite sure what happened there.
I guess you could do an ad hoc tournament on your own, but
well, it's like you can't really do a tournament thing here. You can't even do teams. It's it's literally every player or bot for themselves.
And it's only 2 players per team?
Well, no, there's no teams. It's 2 players.
So it's basically 4v4.
Yes, it's always 4v4. Yeah, there is a crippling lack of options here.
I'm just trying to visualize the sport.
Like I said, it involves a lot of disorientation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not gonna lie. This is one of the not goodest games I've played this year. I mean, there's nothing foundationally broken at first until you actually play it in motion and you start bouncing against the invisible walls and trying to figure which way is up because it's 360 degrees.
Mm-hmm. And there's no auto
no.
writing options or whatever.
I'm like, it's a bit better in third-person mode. That's about it. Even third-person mode's pretty disorienting. And you've got, in terms of gameplay options, you've got a tractor beam, and you've got a neon bullet. You know, it's like you use the tractor beam to get the ball. You use the shot to get the ball away from the other players.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You can also move with the thrusters, and let's see. And the fourth button is the viewpoint change. This game is very basic, and it makes sense in some regards since this is a sport that doesn't exist.
Yet, dun dun dun.
I'm like, I don't think JetBall is going to become a thing anytime soon. Call it a hunch. But it's just in between the disorientation, the fact that the AI bots are, they're super precision keen. You know, they don't have, they'll. I will say yes. There is an orientation line that will point you in the direction of the ball, but that's about it. Like, it's actually a little too thin for its own good. The arenas themselves, they look pretty nice, if a bit basic, but you're going to be too busy trying not to throw up to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. There, in terms of music, there's some jingles in the menu. Outside of that, it's complete silence.
Oh boy.
Ooh, that's not usually a good sign.
Yeah.
Insert joke about depth of space and no one can hear you scream.
I'm like, some good news is you do get a practice mode. So you can at least attempt to get orientated with this game, and there's also what basically amounts to a spectator mode, which is all 4 bots are bots, which may be the best way to experience the game. Yeah, can you tell I didn't like this? Right. Let's see. The price clocks in at $4.99. I'm like, I guess in a vacuum, that's a good price for this game. But this is one of those games that's is not good enough for me to recommend at any price.
Yeah, and like you could, can't you probably step up to Rocket League for like $10?
Something like that.
10 or 15. Like, something that won't make you want to vomit all over your computer.
Yeah. Or if you want a 6 Degrees of Freedom thing, go buy Overload. Like, granted, that's a vastly different game, but it's something that uses 360-degree space properly.
And gives you a button to write yourself so you aren't flying around like a moron.
Another note, even though this game has only partial controller support, you will need a controller to play this. I tried it on a keyboard. Everything was on the left-hand side. Like the movement and the use buttons, let's call them. Oh God, the hand cramps. They were not good. I mean, you can adjust that, but by the game's own admission, it doesn't really work well with keyboard inputs. Anyway, overall score 3 out of 10. Send it to the trash fire, and let's move on and never speak of this again. Yeah. Coming up is Trinaline All Ages version.